Welcome to another day in the Matrix, Waters Above Crypto. Today's the lunar eclipse we've been waiting for. As you can see, the crypto market has rebounded substantially since the dip we had over the weekend. Most of these intangible coins are up 50 to 60% off the lows. And while the dollar index hovers around 90 and the stock market remains stable, I'm expecting these cryptocurrencies to continue moving up into the new moon, which is also the solar eclipse on June 10th. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with the esoteric science of Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. If you haven't already subscribed and you like what we're doing here, feel free to subscribe. Give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. And also, just a reminder, I'm still running that sale till the end of the month on my Mastermind course. For those of you who want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. There's a promo code in the pinned comment below with instructions to get lifetime access to the course with a discount. My email is in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And I'll be running this sale for the next 5 days until the start of June. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So, first things first, we're going to focus on Bitcoin as always because that's the chart that moves this crypto market. And one thing that's promising is yesterday we actually had 2 straight days of daily closes above this 236 fib. Again, pulling a fib retracement tool from the all-time high, swing high, to the swing low that we got on May 19th, which is very akin to the COVID crash, the crash that we got last March in 2020. So basically what's going on here is until there's a closure above this $42,000 level, we're basically going to remain sideways and boring. And while it does that, the altcoins will do very well. I believe that there's opportunity for these altcoins to rebound substantially as they have. Again, this past Sunday was just the weakest retail sell-off I've seen in a while. It was laughable at best to watch those lettuce hands give up all those incredible gains. And the whales bought it all right back yesterday. Textbook. So the one thing that I'm looking at, just to give a quick overview of the macro, is the weekly close above the 34 EMA is something that I'm looking for. So let me get all these drawings away and just focus on the indicators. So let's bring up our exponential moving averages, and you'll see that we're pretty much below the key 3, being the 13 in blue, the 21 in orange, and the 34 in this red color. And as mentioned in last week's video, I was telling everyone that a closure below the 21 EMA typically leads to a dump. That's exactly what we saw. It was a huge dump actually. From candle to candle, if you were to measure from the candle body closes on the weekly down to the candle body closes on the dump, it's only 42%. So in the event that this actually closes above this 34 weekly at the end of this week, that would actually be pretty nice recovery. And it's something you expect at the end of a bull run also. So I'm not saying this is the end of the bull run. You've heard me say multiple times that I believe 80% this is still bullish and we're still in a bull run, and 20% anything is possible in this matrix. Anyone who tells you otherwise is fucking lying to you. Sorry to say it, but it's true. Just because we're in the quote-unquote middle of a bull run doesn't mean that black swans could happen at any moment. Again, this entire market is ran by algorithms, and all it takes is a press of the button from the Federal Reserve to send this in whatever direction they want, up or down, as above, so below. So another thing I would be looking for is this monthly chart. I would love to see a closure remain above this 8 EMA, which is this orange moving average. Again, to me, I don't know how many analysts talk about this, but this is one of my number one indicators. A weekly closure below this 8 EMA, I am not bullish anymore because pretty much that always signifies the end. You could see right here after the blow off blow-off top in 2017 leading into the 2018 bear market. We saw that daily closure in March below, and then right when we got below that yellow line with a closure, although we got support by this 13 monthly, we saw rejection off of the 8, and that in combination is the sign of a bear market. So although the 21 EMA was a historical support for the bull run in the past, it has broken that clearly, and now I believe that this is the second best indicator that we could use to determine bullish momentum moving forward. So just to quickly round this up, the moment we see a closure below the 8 on the monthly, and then we see resistance, that's game over, okay? Because you can see what that caused. But pretty much for the entirety of the bull run of 2015 moving to the blow-off top, we remained back testing the 8 EMA, but we never closed below it, and it just maintained bullish. So sometimes you need to step back and like zoom out and look at larger time frames. So that's why I'm doing this to start off this video, and I'm going to start focusing on the macro more now, because this cryptocurrency market is extremely volatile. We just had an insane sell-off of like 70 to 80% for most of these altcoins. And although that posed an amazing buying opportunity, I could just tell by the change in sentiment that people are too focused like on the 1 hour chart. You know, they're like sitting there sweating, their like eyes are turning red and they're fucking wigging out. So this is a time to sort of just chill and zoom out. You know, let's focus on the larger time frames. Let's focus on the 2-day and the 3-day chart instead of just looking at the 6 hour like all day, losing your mind. With that being said, though, another thing that's sort of scary, as you can see at the end of this bull run, we tapped on the 13, but leading up in the entirety of the bull run, we only tapped on it once, and that was in August of 2016, and that was really early in the bull run. You know, that had another 16 months to go. I don't believe, I mean, unless we end an extremely long extended cycle, I don't see that in the works. So then we have the bull run that I believe we are most similar to, which is this 2013 bull run where we had the blow off in April, the first blow off. Like we just got our first high here in April, actually on the same exact time frame. And then we had a prolonged correction phase, which lasted about 6 months before the next parabolic move, which was the actual end of the bull run. Now, this characteristic is a sign of something we're most likely moving into, because I mentioned in one of my mastermind course videos that you saw this red candle followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 greens, and then this hammer candle, and then a big dumpy red candle. Now let's do the same. We have the red candle right here in September, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 greens. This doji indecision, big red dumpy candle. So I suspect that if we finish off this monthly above the 8 EMA, we are most likely just repeating exactly this cycle. So let's zoom into some of the smaller time frames now, just so we could sort of get an idea. Basically, I think that the last, like the line in the sand is this 8 EMA. If this crosses below and closes the month of May below this, if that still stays bullish after that, then we can basically count out all weekly EMA and monthly EMA closures to be discredited during this bull run. And I would actually be super happy if that happened, because that's telling me that we could look to, we could start looking to other things. You know, this was clearly manipulation. If anyone looked at on-chain analytics for what just occurred on May 19th, the amount of outflows of almost all these top cryptos was the same as their inflows. So that means that the whales just completely fucked over the market and then set buy limit longs all the way at the bottom and bought that dip. So that sort of manipulation is something that's a lot more similar to right back here, the March dump, which literally was a reset in the market. Anything's possible in this matrix. I believe that this red candle and this green is like the kind of recovery we're expected to see leading into June. But July, I'll touch on that later, about 10 minutes into this video. So kind of push through as best as we can. So far, I believe we are much more similar to the C-scam crash of 2020, and this market should probably recover very similarly. Now, there's one thing that I was touching on last night's live stream, which was the moon phases indicator. So I'm going to close out all these other indicators and I'm going to bring up the moon phases and go over this along with the drawings tool, because I do feel like this curve is playing such a significant role. If I combine this curve right here, which you could see it's perfect wick to wick to wick for every single top structure before a dip, and every single top structure being within 3 days or so of the new moon, and every single bottom structure being within a couple days of the full moon, this is like an insane indicator that's like no other. So moon cycle indicator, essentially what I'm anticipating is right now we're at the full moon, right? We're experiencing the full moon tonight. So you'll see the full moon show up, and that's typically indicative of a bottom. Okay, so the bottom is in. Now we have the next new moon, which will be on June 10th. Okay, so if I hover my cursor right here to where the curve is on June 10th at the highest price, it's sitting at 47,200. Now, typically we're within a couple days before or a couple days after, so we could hit it early, like at the very first week, maybe June 3rd. And June 3rd would also make sense, right? Because it's 6-3 numerology, like Bitcoin equals 36 in Gematria. So 6-3 could be like a short-term top. We hit 51,000, which again, 51 is for the moon. So I don't want to jump around too much, guys, but this is like the added value that I could give you guys. You have moon at 51, okay? And it's heading into a new moon around that 3-6 numerology date, like 36 equals Bitcoin and Gematria. I think this is like, we're adding it all here, we're really looking to like hit every side of this thing, not only the TA, but we're definitely cracking the code, I believe. If we move up into this structure around that time, June 3rd through June 10th, we would be topping out at this curve, sitting somewhere between 47,000, 51,000, and then we need to see how it reacts on this curve, because basically every time it hits this curve, it hits a downtrend, and that downtrend typically lasts around 10 days. So you have there 11 days, here you have 12 days, here you have 8 days, here you have a little bit longer, 13 days. So right now what I could say is once it hits around June 10th, it's probably going to enter a downtrend. And now that's going to be the last like shakeout supply test to see how this market wants to react. And of course, we would anticipate the new low in that structure, not a new low, but a lower price around the full moon, okay? So the full moon of June is on, let's see, June 24th, okay? So let's just say that on June 24th, maybe the price just comes right back to 38K again, and then we need to see how it responds to this 236 fib. Again, this matters for every single cryptocurrency you own. That's why I'm covering Bitcoin in this way, because this shit runs the entire sector. So it's going to affect, everything I'm saying right now is going to affect XRP, Algorand, Chainlink, Ethereum, all of that stuff. Now it'll be more dramatic in the reaction on a smaller cap coin than it would be for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just the compass for you to know where this is all going. So it's crucial to understand. Once you learn the TA on Bitcoin, you could apply everything I'm teaching you here to every other altcoin. Just wanted to mention that because people think that I'm transfixed on this Bitcoin thing, but it's just because I have I'm not in tunnel vision, okay? I'm not staring at the 30-minute chart on, Nimic coin or some shit, fucking sweating. I'm trying to show you that this is what people need to pay attention to. That's your red pill of the day, by the way. Anyways, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here. And now another thing that I've learned is that about every 48 to every 58 days, you see a new bottom. So right here from bottom to bottom over here. All right, let me go from this one because this is a better call. It's the second bottom of the double bottom. You're getting 57 days. Now let's go from this bottom to this bottom, and what you're getting is 50 right here, 58, 57 days. You could keep doing this over and over again, by the way. I was showing everyone on the live stream last night. So you see this dip right here around USA Thanksgiving holiday. Okay, you go up 58 days from bottom to the next bottom. So one of the things I've learned about this is the recoveries for Bitcoin take about 50 to 55 days, but from bottom to bottom is around 48 to 58 days. So we can use this now and in combination with something else. So let's go from this bottom wick to 58 days out, and you're going to get a time frame of July 20th. Now, why is that so important? Because July 20th is around a full moon, okay? So you see right here, July 23rd, it's within a full moon date. So that 3-day window, I'm anticipating we're probably going to move up into the new moon and then pull back into July 20th. So it'll be something like this, just to quickly get through it. Maybe boom, boom, and then pull back into the July. And then we could still just keep on this big range that it looks like a reaccumulation phase using Wyckoff. So I'll hurry up through this just to give you guys a little more understanding. So what about the new moon in July, right? That's really interesting because we know new moons are always peaks. Now, this is what I believe is going to be great for everyone in regards to the value here, is the 23rd week, okay, is going to be, I believe that's crucial because the number 23 shows up in 2 of our favorite coins. So this 23 is between June 7th and it's between June 7th and June 13th, right? So we're expecting that curve top to come in right around there. So that's another like added thing. And the 23 significance comes back to Bitcoin. Okay, so we have the 23 in Chaldean, and then we also have an XRP, we have that 23. Let me get back on that. So right now we're in the 21st week, we're leading into that 23rd week. So that's a bullish sign, right? We have a new moon, which is bullish, and then we have the 23rd week, which matches the gematria of the 2, predominant coins in my work. And I believe that the focus on my work being inclusive of XRP is because of the future role that XRP will play in this game. At this time, it's all Bitcoin though, in regards to the charts and TA. So that 23, I think, is really crucial to consider because it seems bullish all around, right there. But that's where I would get cautious because bull runs end in a lower high after a huge sell-off. So we have to be cautious into that, and I'll focus on that as we get there. So on the other side of things, after going over the 23 significance behind Bitcoin and XRP with the 23, we can also assume that the July time frame, because it's 58 days after the dump, is probably going to be a new low. Now it might just be a higher low, and that would give us a very bullish sign. So for every big dip, it's typically 48 to 58 days out. It's pretty much all you need to know. Around July 16th, to July 20th is when I'm expecting the next big buying opportunity. So might be helpful for you guys to consider that. And also another thing is this fractal. People are asking me about what this fractal is. That's the copy fractal from the COVID crash. And I thought it was really interesting because it almost matches the percentages. Like this is the top of where it crashed. And that's about where the 4 tops were on the Bitcoin chart. And then it dumped the similar amount, like literally within the wicks, and then it responded almost identically. So on the big dip day, 4 days later, there was a huge sell-off, and that was this Sunday, the 23rd. And remember, last Sunday, it was bloody as hell, but it ended up being a nice buying opportunity. That was the second best buying opportunity that was possible for Bitcoin, and it was also the best buying opportunity for altcoins, and it matched exactly perfectly to the day as the 2020 crash. So now it recovered out of that, and you see where this recovery brings us. It brings us right into this arc. Now, this is very bullish to see it go past this arc, come outside of it, back test it, and then enter this golden pocket again before creating a new high on July 6th. I don't think that's gonna happen. Like, if that really happens, then wow. That would be absolutely incredible. I mean, I don't like being that bullish right now, though, because all the other technicals are extremely bearish. So if this starts becoming like golden pocket trading and then a breakout from there, that would be wild, that would bring so much euphoria back to this space. And I don't think the New World Order wants this current phase of the bull run to be euphoric. I think they want to have a very arduous, boring summertime to make people just fucking, they scared you out and now they're going to bore you out. It's a combination that's pretty deadly. And that's what they did back in the COVID crash. They crashed the whole market, 70 to 80% for almost every single altcoin. Bitcoin, I believe, dropped about 65% from top to bottom. And then it literally recovered in a V shape within maybe 100 days. And then it stayed sideways for like 200 days. It was a full year of just like accumulation, and it was boring, but it was obviously the greatest time to get into crypto because everything ended up going on a parabolic run into the start of January 2021. So let's get off of this and examine XRP really quickly because there are some things to consider here. XRP getting a lot of resistance around the $1 even range, which is a little bit worrying. So really quickly from the SEC dump, you have some sort of an Elliott wave count thing going on where you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the 5 wave to the upside. And then you have an A, B, C correction. Now, I'm not huge on Elliott wave, but it is great. And I do want to start implementing it a little bit more for these altcoins on a logarithmic chart. I like the way that you could use it to basically simplify some things for people. Kind of like Wyckoff, it's a really good thing to just simplify. So another thing we're getting though is we've been talking about Wyckoff on this channel, and this buying climax to selling climax, automatic reaction, automatic rally to a spring. Now this spring action would be basically confirmed in my opinion because we have this big green candle closure above the 236. Yesterday we closed above the 236 and today we're holding it really nicely. So as long as this 236 holds, especially on the weekly close coming in, I think this is extremely bullish for XRP. And this back test of this level right here of 65 cents was pretty much just back testing the previous level of resistance. And then look, that was where the price broke out. So if I just keep my cursor here and you pause this video, you can look from left to right on the screen and see that that was a really nice back test. And then off of that wick, it's already gone up over 50%. So it's not as like exuberant as the other altcoins, but again, like XRP is the last to move at the end of a bull run and it goes apeshit. So this is still just all accumulation. And for those of you who like using Elliott wave, I would suspect that we are now going to start entering a new wave to the upside. And that would be denoted by somewhere around the $2.70 range. That's what we were looking for in our previous prediction videos, and that still counts across the board. That 27 price, again, coming back into Ripple with that 27 in Chaldean. So we're not just pulling these numbers out of thin air. It's the actual 618 golden ratio using Fibonacci, and it is also the Gematria. So again, this $2.76 would be perfect, again, because 76 equals Ripple. So that would be amazing to see that price, that exact $2.76 price. And it'll probably happen on a very ritual, like maybe the 41st week of the year or something. I could look into that a little later, but that's a little far out, but it is possible. That's around when I expect this market to turn around into October. So another thing to consider here is this might be what is called a Wyckoff reaccumulation with spring. So the reaccumulation range is really long. It could take a while, and I brought that up before, how I believe that they're going to bore us out. It's going to be a boring summer most likely. No new highs for XRP and Bitcoin for a hot minute. Other altcoins, they might do really well, but I believe that once XRP and Bitcoin dump, they'll dump. You know, it's pretty much inevitable at this point. We've seen it happen firsthand on the 19th of May. So another thing to consider is we're going to get a ton of resistance at this 0.5 fib, and then when this recovers, it's just going to be more LPSs and SOSs as we go up. So LPS being the bottoms, which is a last point of support, and the SOSs being the tops, which are the signs of strength. And then you want to see it staggering up like this slowly over time, building support, and it'll look like a rising gradient bottom, which will lead to a parabola most likely by the fall time into, well, I take that back. For XRP, it's probably going to happen around January of 2022 because it always is the last to move. So I'm going to leave it at that. This video was packed full of information, but it's near the end of the month. I would love to give you guys as much as I can. That live stream we did last night was so fun. It was great talking to everyone about real things and not just about crypto the whole time. And hopefully I'll be doing more live streams too. Everyone was so supportive with all the super chats. I really appreciate all you guys supporting my channel. And also starting on June 1st, there'll be a new billing cycle for Patreon. So anyone looking to join Patreon, June 1st, I'll remind you guys as we get closer to that date. And then remember the beginning of my video mentioning the sale till the end of the month on the Mastermind course. Feel free to take advantage of that because starting June, I will be increasing the price. We've had many people join that, and I have it at a very valuable and low price at this time. And leading into the summer, as this channel gets popular, I will need to slightly increase it. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.